Good evening and welcome back to my channel. Today I'd like to talk about something a little bit different than I usually do. Today I'd like to talk about 8 police officers who have been murdered since the first of the year. These people were murdered when they were just trying to do their job, their sworn duty, and that's to protect and serve the people of the United States. But you see, President Obama and, did I call him president again? No, I'm sorry, the Muslim occupant of the White House and the Democratic candidates that are trying to take his place are putting America's police departments on trial in a court of public opinion in response to a rash of deadly police shootings. The murder of police officers on America's streets is being met with deafening silence because the Muslim occupant of the White House doesn't care. They never have cared. He doesn't respect the laws of this land. He doesn't respect this land. He respects nothing. But anyway, as I go on here, before I digress too far, the president of the Law Enforcement Officers Memorial Fund, the CEO, and his name is Craig W. Floyd, he said in a statement today that already this year there have been 8 officers shot and killed compared to just 1 during the same period last year. And that represents a very troubling trend. And it does. And the silence on the officers' deaths contrasts with the Democratic candidates' often fiery language on police brutality against African Americans. When it came to the issue of law enforcement on Thursday night's debate, if any of you watched that, they both focused almost exclusively on police reform. Senator Sanders said, "Oh, I'm so sick and tired of seeing unarmed black people shot by the police," and he likens that, the heavily equipped police departments, to occupying armies. What a moron. He made a reference to Ferguson, Missouri, and several places where things like that have happened, and Hillary Clinton did the same thing. But now, this is amid a rash of violence against police officers across the country. Jason Moser, the police officer in Fargo, who was shot during a standoff with a domestic violence suspect, he died the next day. Police Major Greg Barney, he separately was shot and killed in an apartment complex outside of Atlanta. 8 people. 8 people. And have you heard the Muslim occupant of the White House express his condolences to the wives, the girlfriends, the husbands, the children of any of these officers? You certainly have not, and you won't. 2 Maryland deputies were fatally shot earlier this week, and Attorney General, another occupant, another Muslim that was appointed by the Muslim occupant of the White House, she met with officials from the major county sheriff's department, or sheriff's association, at their winter meeting in Washington. And she said in a statement that she was deeply saddened by the tragedy, calling it was appalling and senseless crime carried out against 2 dedicated guardians of the public. And let me tell you, it sounded phony when she said it. It sounded phony when I read it back to you, because they don't care. On the campaign trail, anti-police violence is essentially a non-issue. These candidates are quick to speak out on alleged mistreatment of civilians at the hands of cops, but Sheriff Paul Babeu, I think his name is Babeu, of Pinal County, Arizona, he told Fox News that the recent trend can be traced back to Obama's premature comments about the 2000 arrest of Professor Henry Louis Gates, who was briefly arrested after trying to break into his own home after he lost his keys. The police officers saw him breaking into the home, didn't realize who he was, didn't know him, so he stopped him. And Obama said the police acted stupidly and pointed to past discriminations against blacks and Latinos. There again, he should have put his nose in that. That's not the president's job. He's got other things to do than to get involved in local politics. But that's the way he thinks, and that's the way he sees police officers. It's just an absolute deafening silence from the leaders of our country on anti-police violence. And it tells us where we are at this time in our society. You know, they don't care. Obama is quick to vilify the police. And he will put up on a pedestal any black thug or any Muslim thug that happens to get arrested, hurt, shot, whatever, by the police department. No matter what he does, no matter how bad a guy he is. He says we still have to break through the barriers of bigotry. African American parents shouldn't have to worry about their children being harassed, humiliated, and even shot for the color of their skin. Hillary holds that same policy. But you know, African American parents wouldn't have to worry about their children being harassed, humiliated, and even shot if they'd teach their kids to do the right thing, if they'd keep track of their kids, but they don't. They have babies, they turn them loose, they don't care. You remember when Sanders had his little run-in with the Black Lives Movement? He was trying to make his speech, and all of a sudden they just took his microphone away and pushed him off the stage, and he never got to make his speech at his own rally. So anyway, that's the way things go with the Democrats. Now, on the Republican side, the candidates are speaking more about violence against police. Donald Trump, the front runner, has called the police department, or the police officers, the most mistreated people in America. And I'll quote him here. He said, "By the way, the police are the most mistreated people in this country, I'll tell you. The most mistreated people." That was in January at the Fox Business Debate, I think in South Carolina. Anyway, that's kind of the way it goes. I imagine you'll find more police officers voting on the Republican side, no matter which one of the candidates they choose, rather than vote for Hillary if she's not in jail. Anyway, that's my rant for the day. I hope you enjoyed. Please have a great day, and like and subscribe to my page, and I'll talk to you on the next one.